What's in the cards and the stars ahead for you this week? Tune in. Let's join and circle up and figure this out together. So, as you hop on, give me a quick little hello. Let me know where you're watching from. It's always fun to gather together all across the world and have the sacred time to be present, to ground, and to help activate the energies necessary to make the most of this week. And part of what I love doing is giving you the sacred tools and practices that enable you to do that. So as you hop on, I'm going to just make sure that I can see everyone and hear everyone. So let me know too if you can hear me. I'm in a different location. I have been running around and yeah. So we'll see if the other guy wants to go live for me. He may not. So, with that being said, I'm going to invite you to place your hand on your heart and take a few deep breaths. One of the things that's so important right now is we have these astrological movements above us, especially with Uranus going into Gemini, is that we're truly grounded, that we're physically present in the moment. And you'll know this when you look at someone because the light on their eyes will be dull if they're checked out, if their spirit's somewhere else and they're not grounded and present. But when there's that sparkle in their eyes and you can look in the mirror yourself to make sure that you're really grounded and present, you'll see that little twinkle. And the benefit of being grounded is that you make decisions that are in your highest and best interest. When we're not grounded, it's easy or we're more easily manipulated or taken advantage of. We can tend to give our power away. We can be affected more so by the energy around us, take on feelings and emotions as if they were our own, and they're not. So when you're grounded, the anxieties, the worries, the stresses, and the troubles, they tend to roll off your back with greater ease and grace. And you really become more discerning. You become more sound in your judgment, and your energy levels stay higher. Hello, Shannon. Glad you're here. Okay, so to ground, many different ways to do a grounding practice. This is the one I'm called to bring to you this morning. So with the hand, the center of the chest, the heart space, I want to invite you to imagine a color that represents you. And as you tune into this color in your heart space, imagine it like a beautiful ball of light. And imagine a concentration of color at the center of the ball of light. So maybe if you see like a pink light, it's even a more vibrant, deeper pink at the center. And bring your awareness to that center space. This is the inner wheel of the heart chakra. And breathe. Good. Sometimes we get ahead of ourselves. So as I tune in, I feel a lot of energy out in front. It's kind of like we're running ahead. We're worried about the future. So we're 10 steps ahead, like the cartoon characters, where you see them running, but they've left a trail of their image behind. Bring yourself back into the heart space. You're more effective and efficient with your time when you're grounded and you're present and you're not worrying about the future or you're just trying to live in the future. There we go. Good. It might feel a little uncomfortable at first, but breathe. Soften and relax the throat. There's a lot of tension around the throat today, so I'm just saying hello to that. For all those who are tuning in, all who watch later, being able to speak your voice, speak your heart. The throat is the chimney of the heart, and it expresses what's on the heart. But sometimes we'll close down the throat because it doesn't feel safe to express our heart, or maybe we're just not tuned in to the confidence and the belief that what we have to say matters or can make a difference. But this week, more than ever, as we get ready to go into that Leo energy, I'm going to invite you to step into your confidence. Beautiful, your willpower. Breathe. And imagine drawing a line that connects the head to the heart, just like connect the dots. So we're connecting logic and emotion, heart and mind. And then drop a grounding cord from the tailbone. You can think of it like a green flashlight shining down through pelvic floor between the legs. Down this green light moves through topsoil, down through a layer of subsoil where the trees speak to one another, down through a layer of granite. It moves like a warm knife through butter. Down, this moves this cord through a layer of fire and down through a layer of crystals, magma, to the very core and heartbeat of Mother Earth. And breathe. And just begin to feel the difference when you're grounded. As you take in one deep breath, breathe in a beautiful ray of cosmic light from the center of the cosmos down through the crown, the head, the throat, the heart, and into the solar plexus. And anything that's in your space that isn't serving your highest, simply flush it out to the earth to be recycled into something of great beauty. And as you release those things that aren't serving your highest, fill back up with a beautiful, warm ray of light, beautiful golden sunshine. And take a breath. Wonderful. And then slowly, slowly open the eyes. Good morning, Jasmine. Good morning, Chrissy. So glad you're here. So now tune into your heart space, and we're just going to ask, what's the most important thing that you need to hear going into this week ahead? And we just see who comes up. The star. The star is basically saying there's limitless possibilities. When you look up at the evening sky, especially if you're in a place like a dark sky where there's not light pollution, the amount of stars are endless. There's no way we could count them all. And so what this card is representing is those endless, limitless possibilities and potentials. So if you've been feeling like your story has been stuck or that it's come to a dead end, what do we do next? This is a universe basically saying there are so many options, so many potentials. All you have to do is look up. And as you look up, have faith. It's a highly intuitive card. The intuition is running strongly. So this week, as we move into it, the moon is working its way or moving into new moon energy, which means the moon is in a waning phase. It's getting darker and darker and darker. And the few days before the new moon, it's considered a balsamic phase, which is a very spiritual, intuitive time. It's a time where you're encouraged to go inward, a moment where the veils between the worlds are a little bit thinner so that you can hear intuitive guidance with greater ease. And when we're talking about, and this is one of the things that I love to do, is teach people the language of intuition and how to speak it. And one of the things with speaking the language of intuition is making sure that you're grounded. And if you don't have a grounding practice, I know I share this often, but this is just my gift to you, irenamiller.co/get calm. This is another grounding practice, 2-minute audio that you can download, easy peasy. But when you are grounded, you can trust the intuitive guidance you're receiving with much greater ease. The reason being is that we are discerning. If we're not grounded when we're receiving guidance, and this is something, how to say this? I'll say it this way. If you're not grounded when you're receiving guidance, there's a tendency to act too fast. There's a tendency to believe everything you hear. There's a tendency to feel all the feelings and think they all belong to you. When you're grounded, there's a discernment. There's an awareness of healthy boundaries, of where your energy ends and others begin. There's an awareness of where you're losing energy, where you might be giving too much to a situation that has run its course. Right now, Mercury is retrograde and will be for about the next 3 weeks. And there is an incredible astrologer out there, Chris Brennan. He did a great story or presentation on Back to the Future, the making of the movie, and Mercury retrograde, and used that as an example because when Back to the Future was originally started filming, it began during a Mercury retrograde. And there was a lot that had to go back and be redone and revisited, including the leading actor being swapped out. It wasn't Michael J. Fox originally. And one of the things that was shown is that the director really didn't want to change actors in the beginning. It's like, we've already started down this road, even though things don't feel right. We're going to keep going, keep going, keep going. But eventually he said, okay, it's not working. We've got to change paths. But he kept going, he kept going, he kept going, and he was losing energy. He was losing the feeling of it. It wasn't quite right. So there are points in our life, especially during a retrograde, like a Mercury in retrograde, where we're working on communication, thinking, we're working on technology, the way we're engaging with it. We're working on systems. We're connecting with our neighborhood, our local burbs. If you are in a place where you've been losing energy, where you keep going down the same path and you're like, oh, it's a sunk, we can't realize it's a sunk cost, but we're just going to keep pouring into it, pouring into it. This is a moment to say, okay, let's pause. There are so many possibilities. You're not at a dead end. You're not stuck. Just take a moment to ground and to realize that you have many options. It's not all in or all out. Sometimes it's an if this and or then. Very interesting. Okay, so with that being said, let's talk about the rest of the week. So we spoke about the new moon coming up. With that new moon in Leo, this is an exciting time because Leo energy helps you tune into your solar plexus, your third chakra. It helps you tune into your confidence, your willpower, your self-belief. And that's going to be necessary to reach for those opportunities and to have the ability to even be able to hear the intuitive guidance. Because sometimes if we're really being self-deprecating or we think, oh, I could never, what makes me the candidate for this job or this opportunity? The universe is saying, yes, you've got what it takes. Dream big, envision it, feel it, see it, believe it. Do that on all levels: physical, emotional, spiritual, mental. And you will be in complete awe of what begins to unfold. So this week, the energy going inward, preparing for this new moon, where you're building your confidence, where you're stepping out into the world in a very bold fashion of self-belief. I've got what it takes. I'll figure it out. I know I can do this. But in order to get into that space, we have to be willing to let go of the old life. We have to be willing to let go of the things that weren't working, the sunk cost, where we might have put so much energy and so much time into the work, and realize, oh, I have to just say, you know what? It's really not working. I'm going to let it go so that I have the space for the new to come in. So, with that being said, take a deep breath. And this week, I invite you, do the practices where you can release the old wounds, allow yourself time to grieve the projects that didn't work, the relationships, maybe the health regimes, whatever it was. Allow yourself to say, you know what, it's okay. It didn't work out. I'm going to let it go. I'm going to release it. And a great sacred practice for that is taking an Epsom salt bath. You can add crystals if you want, like around the tub, or if they're quartz-based, you could put them in the water, like rose quartz. You can even add essential oils. And then at the very end of the bath, release the water from the tub and see if you can stay in the bath until all the water drains down, if you don't get too chilly. It's one practice. And the idea is that the water takes the energy that you're willing and ready and want to release, the energy that's been holding you in these stuck patterns that make it feel like the chapter or the book is done. Okay, so Monday, we kick off. The moon is in Gemini, and a Gemini moon has us thinking. It has us curious. And to avoid getting into the vibration of a Gemini moon that is anxious or worried or jumping from one task to the next and not quite finishing it completely, ground. And for grounding on Monday, I'm just going to encourage you, take deep, even breaths. I'm going to be coming out with a masterclass on breath. This is becoming even more important and apparent to me of how much we can benefit from the guidance with the breath work. The yogis call it pranayama, and I taught it all the time when I had my yoga studio. So I'm going to share that with you. So keep your eyes open for that. That'll be coming. So just deep, even belly breathing. Breathe in for 4, exhale for 4. Don't worry about holding your breath, the breath retention. That's okay. So Monday, Gemini moon, in order to get things done, do deep breaths. And what's the most important thing that you need to know about this Monday energy? We're going to see what pops up. Love. All you need is love. So love is coming your way. There's new opportunity, new beginnings for love. So if you have been looking for that romantic partnership, if you have been looking for the thing that lights you up, there's the opportunity of love. So begin with love in mind. Choose the loving path, choose the loving thought. And if it's not love based, release it with the exhale. You breathe in love, you breathe out negativity. You can think of that as well. Breathe in for just love, exhale out for the negativity. And it's a wonderful thing how a simple practice like that can make all the difference. Okay, from here, moon moves in. Oh, hey, before I forget, Monday, today, moon goes void of course, and it goes void of course just before 4 p.m. Eastern. And if I look at the exact time, 3:52. So about 4 p.m. Eastern time, moon goes void of course. So get all of your work done at the beginning of the day. Remember, a void moon of course just basically means the moon isn't having a conversation with any of the other planets. She's not doing any work. She's just hanging out. And it is a bit like a retrograde experience in the fact that she's reflecting. She's finishing up loose ends, tying things up. So this would be a great day for dealing with areas around love where maybe you had experienced a lack of love or things had been very harsh and intense. Give yourself the time to do loving, soothing practices for your soul this afternoon, rather than thinking you've got to push and do new projects or start something or get a lot of work done or things accomplished. Do something that's loving towards yourself and very, very healing to build your reserves back up. Oh, it's very cool. I'm excited. It's always fun to see what comes through with these. Okay, Tuesday. Tuesday, we start off with the moon in Gemini, but quickly moves into Cancer at around 8:30 a.m. Eastern. So the energy that you wake up to, and most of us probably on East Coast are going to be waking up to the Cancer or waking up to the Gemini moon. West Coast friends, you probably wake up to the Cancer moon. That sets the energy tone of the day. And you'll notice you can begin, especially if you're moon sensitive, meaning you're just aware of when the moon changes phases, and it tends to affect your sleep patterns, your emotions, your attention to detail. If you're feeling dreamy or if you're feeling a little more present, the moon is going to be in Gemini in the wee hours of the morning Tuesday. And probably then you might notice, okay, your dreams might have been active. You might have woken up with your head spinning of like all the to-do list or maybe even worries. But when the moon moves into Cancer, it's going to move out of the head and into the heart, into feelings. It's going to move into the space where we really want to connect to love and we want to feel safe. We might feel more emotional, a little more tender, a little more sensitive. So when the moon is in Cancer, and that's why I love to track where the moon is throughout the week so that I have that data to go back to and say, ooh, when it's a Cancer moon, I tend to take things a little more personally. I need a little bit more alone time. Just factor that in as you go into Tuesday and Wednesday so that you're not feeling like, oh, why can't I succeed at this? I need to go out to this networking event and, I just didn't make the contacts I wanted to. Well, if you have to go to a networking event, great. Don't stay home, but create a feeling of safety for yourself. So maybe that means wearing the power suit that you love that makes you feel strong and safe. Maybe it's wearing something comfortable. Maybe it's bringing a wing person like a family friend or somebody who feels like family to you to the event. So you can navigate the energies. You don't have to stop living your life, but what you now are is informed. And you're not beating yourself up saying, oh, why can't I be like this? Why can't I do that? Well, that's not the energy that's available yet. Utilize the energy you have, right? Work with the cards you've been dealt to your fullest and best. And there's great success at hand for you, limitless possibilities. But when we're trying to play, as if we had a different hand, a different set of cards dealt or a different set of energies, then it's frustrating. It's like the fish trying to climb the tree, so frustrated and so upset. Why can't I do this? It's like, well, a fish was never meant to climb a tree or ride a bicycle, unless you're in Dr. Seuss. Okay, so Tuesday, how can you make the most of this Tuesday energy? And just tuning in, we see who pops up, the Emperor. So this is, you have a level of expertise. You've been here before. You know what to do. And he's contemplating. He's not rushing into any action. So Tuesday, we're definitely entering that balsamic moon phase that I mentioned before, which is very intuitive, inward, reflective, quiet, sacred, spiritual time. He's receiving downloads and insights from the heavens. I love this artist, Chris Ann, the Light Seers deck. You can see how that light is coming down. And you think about the Leo energy, it is the kings and the queens. It is the regal quality. It is royalty. And that's the energy we're moving into, because happy birthday, Leos. On Tuesday, it is your birthday. So I love, love, love that the emperor came up for you, because this is that king-like energy. This is taking a seat on the throne and recognizing your level of expertise, where you've acquired your 10,000 hours, so to speak, where you've worked on something and honed your craft and your skills and your gift, and take time to tune in to divine guidance before you place that next chess piece or take that next action on the board. I love it. So happy, happy birthday to all our Leo friends. If you are a Leo, pop that in the comments so we can wish you a happy birthday. And if you've never had a natal chart done, especially a solar return for your birthday, then we need to talk. Check out my website, irenamiller.co/stars, and you can find out more about getting a birth chart done and a birthday chart with a solar return. Okay, so with that being said, Wednesday, the moon is fully in Cancer. And again, it's that intuitive, nurturing, safe space that's so necessary. With Wednesday's energy, one thing that I do want to point out is that you might find those unique surprise, eureka moments coming with more ease, some kind of breakthrough or an awareness around your identity, who you are. And take that energy and use it to help you dream and dream big. Okay. So Hermit card pops up. I love this because, again, still in the balsamic moon phase. This is basically saying sequester yourself away for a little bit of time. Know that with that time, now traditionally the Hermit card is you've been alone too long, get back out into the world, see the world, share what you've learned with the world, and shine that spotlight. But this is coming through to me in such a way that it's saying it's okay to take some time alone, to walk the pathway, and to have that quiet, introspective, reflective moment. Through that, you're going to build your energy so that you can be a brighter light for everyone else. So if energy is feeling a little lower this week, if you just feel that need to kind of pull away from everything and everyone, it's okay. Do that. Recharge your battery so that you can come back out into the world. Now, Thursday, we move into the new moon in Leo. And with that new moon in Leo, what's most important for you to know? And two cards are coming out. So I'm going to pull the two cards. So the first card that comes out is the Ten of Swords. And the Ten of Swords is saying it's time to walk towards the horizon. The hardest part is over. The worst has already happened, and new energy, new light is coming in. Don't stay focused on the past, but go towards the light. Go towards that which you want to build. And the Four of Wands, they are celebrating. They are coming together and creating a stable foundation so that as the next chapter begins, it starts with celebration, not with trepidation, not with hesitation, but it starts with celebration. Okay. New moon in Leo, what I want to invite you to know about this energy is that this is an opportunity for you to really reconnect with who you are, to release and shed the layers of what the world has told you you are or other people, release the emotions and the feelings that don't belong to you, and come back into your knowing. I know. And a great practice for Thursday would be, kind of like Oprah at the back of her magazine, she used to do, I know this to be true. What do you know? Write down, I know. And that can help open up the doorways of where your power rests. Okay, Friday. Moon is still in Leo. I'm going to be tuning into that playfulness of Leo. Leo takes great pride in what they do, and they really bring a playfulness and a leadership quality to what they do. All right, what's most important that you need to know about Friday? Queen of Swords. So again, another regal energy. So the Queen of Swords is somebody who is thinking long term. She's thinking of the big picture and she's envisioning where she wants to go. I want to invite you to take that time on the other side of the new moon to really pause and activate your imagination and start to visualize on all levels: physical, emotional, spiritual, mental, what it is that you want to build. Who do you want to reveal yourself as? And when I say that is, it's not who do you want to become or be, but who are you already that you've held back from sharing and shining with the world for whatever reason it might be. Maybe the confidence wasn't there. Maybe there was a hesitation because it didn't match the people you were around and you thought they would judge you or, kick you out of the club, so to speak. Envision with full confidence who you are and where you wish to be. And I would take note of that, jot it down, write it down, capture it somehow so you can come back and revisit it. Okay, Saturday. As we move into Saturday's energy, Moon kicks off in Leo, and in the afternoon, late afternoon, around 5 p.m. Eastern, she moves into Virgo. So we're still going to have that Leo energy present. So what's most important that you need to know about that Leo moon on Saturday? Let's see who pops out. We really have two popping out. Okay. 7 of Cups. You might feel overwhelmed with options and choices. Again, ground. Do the grounding practice in order to bring yourself back into the moment so that you don't feel overwhelmed or stuck in an illusion of, I don't know, all this smoke, all this fog, all of this haze. Which way do I go? When you're grounded, it's much easier to make decisions because something does need to change. When we get this beautiful card of death and rebirth, it's saying, in order to bring in the vision that you were working with on Friday, and maybe the vision is to live in a tropical paradise. Well, that means that your life has to change. You have to leave the cold, snowy, wintry one to go there. You'll probably have to change your wardrobe, get rid of all the heavy layers. And I'm being a little bit lighthearted and cheeky here because change is not easy. Even though we might feel kind of like stuck or bored and we're looking for a change, we can hesitate. So this Leo new moon is saying there's new opportunities for you, but to access these new opportunities and not be overwhelmed by them or by the illusions of what appears good and isn't, ground and get ready to release the things from your life that just haven't, well, let's say that either have run their course, that have been completed, that it's time to let go because it's no longer serving your highest and best interest. Release them so that you can step into this calling that's been stirring within your soul and within your heart. It's going to be a really interesting week. And then Sunday, as we go into Sunday's energy, Moon is in Virgo, and Virgo energy is a get things done moon. Love that Virgo moon because I always feel like I can write my to-do list and knock a bunch of things off. You're going to be paying more attention to detail. That might be a downside because little things might bother you that don't normally, like the dust bunnies in the corners or the stack of papers. Utilize that Virgo moon and organize yourself. Get things together. Get them in an alignment that really feels like you can start the next week prepared. And so what's most important that you need to know about Sunday's energy? Ace of Wands. So the Ace of Wands is another new beginning, a passion project, a new job, new opportunities. Interesting how we had the two aces come up. We had the Ace of Cups at the beginning of the week with new love. And on Sunday, the Ace of Wands with new opportunities, new passion, new inspiration. This week is really preparing you energetically, astrologically, to heal the old wounds, the harm and the hurt, grieve the losses. Sometimes I had a client who had an incredible business that she was building, and through forces outside of her control, just as it was coming to like the pinnacle of success, she had a product that she'd created. It was getting into Martha Stewart's magazine. It was, promotional spaces, getting ready to go on the shelves, like in nurseries and garden centers and the like. Everything kind of fell apart. The rug got pulled out from underneath her. And when that happened, she moved on to the next entrepreneurial adventure and has done she's been quite successful and done beautifully. But in the meantime, as she was going forward, there'd be little hiccups along the way. And what became very apparent was that she hadn't had time to grieve the loss of that business that she had poured so much of her heart and love into. So if there are things that you've poured your heart into, projects, relationships, maybe it's a job in the house that you've been working on and it just isn't working, utilize this new moon, utilize this Mercury in retrograde to say, it's okay to release this, to grieve it, to heal it, to rethink, re-envision, reorganize myself so that going forward, I can approach it from a different perspective. There's limitless opportunities and possibilities for you. Give yourself that healing, loving warmth and compassion so that you can see them and receive them. Thank you so much for tuning in, for being here with me today. It's always a joy to come together. Remember, if this has helped you, tune in every Monday, 9:30 a.m. Eastern. We gather together and we go over the energies of the stars, of the cards, and I love to share the sacred practices and tips with you so that you can step into the life that you were born to live. And if this has been helpful, please do like, subscribe, share it with a friend. It helps so much. I'm so grateful for that. And until next time, remember, trust your vibes and follow your heart. Much love, guys. Bye-bye.